Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Lars.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson. Available wherever podcasts can be found, and of course, taped live at the Twitch at twitch.tv/Steve and Larson. Do we have anything coming up this weekend?
Super Bowl.
Oh, that's right. The Super Bowl is this Sunday.
Superb Owl Party.
With the Superb Owl Party. We're not allowed to call it the Super Bowl, I think, according to the NFL. We're gonna be doing a watch party on the twitch.tv/Steve and Larson. Obviously, what do they say?
The game, obviously.
What do they say? What do they say? Without express written permission or something like that.
Of the NFL, yes.
Yeah.
Something is prohibited, yes.
We do not have express written permission from the NFL.
But therefore, us broadcasting the game on our Twitch is strictly prohibited.
Yeah, we're just going to be hanging out. I mean, look, maybe I'll put it up there and we'll just do this with the control.
Not worth it.
Probably not a great idea. I would imagine they'd have people scouring Twitch for that stuff.
Oh, yes.
And we have a pretty healthy audience here, so it's probably not a good idea. But we're going to be hanging out regardless, rooting for football. And
yes.
Should be fun.
Yes.
So, yeah, come check that out this come Sunday. That should be fun.
That should be fun.
Yeah, well, we'll just go ahead and dive into it. We got all sorts of news today. Yeah, man, all sorts of stuff going on backstage. Let's talk about this first, though.
Yes.
Of course, man, ever since Tony Khan mentioned this, the world of wrestling has been abuzz about who will be debuting on Dynamite this Friday against...
not Friday, Wednesday. Sorry, Wednesday.
Oh, this
Dynamite's
Wednesday.
on Wednesday. Yeah. I messed that up. My days mixed up.
Against Isaiah Cassidy. Dynamite, in fact, does happen on Wednesdays.
Wednesday.
In this Face of the Revolution qualifier match. But the question is, Larson, who could it be? And even those at Fightful Select, go check them out. They're great.
Yes, go subscribe.
They asked and found that none of the talent they spoke to knew who was making their debut, but it was speculated backstage that it was going to be Keith Lee. Now, Dave Meltzer has mentioned that Keith Lee and AEW have spoken. By the way, congratulations to Keith Lee and Miriam. They just got married this weekend. It looked like a lovely ceremony.
Congratulations. Yes, congratulations.
They might already have a deal in place, Keith Lee and AEW, and he could maybe be showing up on Wednesday. But maybe he's going to be on his honeymoon. Maybe his debut is going to be his honeymoon and Miriam's going to be with him. I don't know. There's some speculation that it could be one Jeffrey Harvey, a.k.a. Jeff Hardy, the Enigma guy. But Fightful notes that he's got a no-compete that doesn't expire until March, so it probably isn't him. Larson, power rank time. Time to power rank.
Yes.
Who's gonna be? Who's gonna be? I got 5 names here.
I have 5. I have till 5. Let's start with number 5. Who's number 5?
Well, first? Tony Khan talked about. What did he exactly say about?
Oh, here I actually have it in front of me.
Do you have his definition of the Forbidden Door?
Yes. He says the Forbidden Door can be open for anyone from any wrestling promotion in the world, whether or not it's a company AEW is on good terms with. Even if it's someone from a company that's open for business, they're always welcome to slam the door in the face of their prior company. Continues to talk with the announcement that Isaiah Cassidy is going to be facing this new opponent, this new wrestler in AEW, and the qualifier match on Dynamite. Says that Cassidy's opponent will debut on Wednesday and sign a contract with AEW. Says the big announcement for Wednesday's Dynamite that we referenced on Rampage, a free agent debut, and the person walking through the Forbidden Door are one and the same. They're walking in the door, signing a contract, and slamming the door shut on Wednesday.
Wow stuff right there.
Indeed. So number 5. Who's your number 5, Steve?
Number 5 is going to be this is my boring pick. You thought you were going to see him at Beach Break. You were wrong. He's like, I don't know when this kid's going to show up. Johnny Gargano. That's my number 5 pick. He's slamming the door in the most a diplomatic manner he slammed the door on WWE. It was more of like a, okay, bye guys, see you later, and he closed it very nicely.
Gently closed, and even made sure when he turned the doorknob to close it all the way, he did it really slow and quietly so it didn't click.
Very considerate, John
Very
is.
considerate.
And I think he's going to show up and do that.
I didn't think about Gargano because, I feel like he's made it pretty clear, and we've read elsewhere that he's going to wait till after his kid's born before getting back in the ring. I left him off my list completely. Number 5, I really don't feel like it's going to happen because if it was going to happen, it probably would have happened sooner. I got Buddy Matthews, of course, but formerly known as Buddy Murphy in WWE. Fantastic wrestler. I know AEW can't sign anybody or everybody, rather. And if they haven't signed him yet, I don't know if they will, but he's great. Be a lot of fun to see Buddy Matthews in AEW.
I like Buddy Matthews. I think he's great.
Oh, he's fantastic.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good one. I'm kind of surprised that he hasn't landed properly with New Japan. The Bullet Club needs some fresh faces, and I think Buddy Matthews would be terrific. My number 4 is, look, man, I can't think of a guy who slammed the door harder on their previous company because they're slamming that door on their dad, Shane McMahon. Shane O'Mac is in the AEW, the Dynamite zone, baby. That's right.
I hope not.
It's a lot of money. He's got like a new theme song. It's a lot of.
That sounds.
It's a lot of dollars. Dollar. Money.
Please, no Shane O'Mac, please. No Shane O'Mac.
It's gonna happen. You thought it was gonna happen?
I hope not.
It's
I hope
fact.
not. I'm not 100% certain this individual's no compete is up, but since they got released by NXT, while in NXT, I'm assuming his 30-day deal. Today or yesterday was 30 days. I'm talking about Samoa Joe.
That's my number 1.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's a great one.
Not including Keith Lee. Do you have Keith Lee in your list at all?
No, I didn't put him on there because that was like kind of obvious.
It was kind of obvious. I got Samoa Joe number 4. If I was certain that his no compete was certainly up, I probably would have him much higher on my list.
That's a good one. Let's see here. I need my number 3. Well, that was my number 1. Actually, you know what? This is my number 1. I'll do that later for my number 1. So that Samoa Joe will be my number 3. Number 2 is going to be the Game Triple H. Again, maybe he just sort of sneaks out the door. He doesn't slam it. He's like, doom, 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 doom. And then he's like, get out of here. And he closes it. He's like, all these years I spent that company building it. I thought I was going to be the guy, and I'm not. I'm not the Game. Now I am. What's a synonym for game? Sport. I'm the sport.
There you go.
Yeah, but he's a bad sport. Anyways, the Game Triple H.
Oh, the Bad Sport. That's a good nickname. The Bad Sport.
The Bad
Doesn't
Sport.
like to lose.
Yeah, exactly.
Number 3
sport.
for me, this is kind of silly, and I'm not sure exactly fits how Tony Khan defined Forbidden Door. I got Cody Rhodes. He's looking for that contract.
Man.
He wants that TNT title back.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
He's only had it 3 times. Cody Rhodes shows up, signs his new contract, goes in there, and wins the qualifier.
You know the guy that Tony Khan is actually hinting at here, and it's kind of nuts, is Mustafa Ali.
I know.
Which, couldn't happen?
No, that's a lawsuit waiting to happen right there.
Yeah, I know, but it's a lawsuit against, him and Tony Khan, but Tony Khan's lawyers. I don't know. That could be... Look, I don't expect it to happen at all in any way, shape, or form. From what we've heard, WWE and AEW are relatively friendly, with the, hey, can we get some guys for the stuff that we're producing? And that would throw that out the window. And I'm sure TNT would not want another company's contracted talent on their cable network. But I don't know. That'd be boy. I mean, in terms of making just massive waves,
I know.
that'd be nuts. I'm not going to say this is precedence at all, but it sort of falls under Brock Lesnar does what he wants to do. So Brock was still under a no-compete clause when he went to Japan and wrestled there. But WWE was like, we don't really want to rock that boat. It's not here. It's not for one of our direct competitors.
Exactly.
But it's kind of interesting that I learned that anyways.
Yeah. Is Mustafa Ali on your official list there?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Fuck.
Right.
There's a better chance of Mustafa Ali than Triple H. I'll tell you what.
You got that right.
Or Shane.
Number 2 on my list. I haven't heard this name a lot in terms of showing up here. This individual is a free agent. Just let his contract lapse lapse with New Japan. Juice Robinson.
Oh,
he's a free agent.
Boy, that is a terrible name. I'll be honest with you.
You could say, well, he turned his back on his previous company, New Japan, to show up there.
That's, Tony Storm, his, I believe, wife. Are they married yet? I know they're.
I don't know if they're married, but I believe they're engaged.
That'd be kind of that actually might be. She probably has a no compete that she's still under right now.
Yeah, it'd be 90 days. Yeah,
but if has it been 30 days? What if they neglected to alter her contract the same way they did multiple other people, and she was like, yeah, no, I'm going to do that. That would actually be a big deal. Juice would be like, you signed Juice and not like any of the other releases that came up? I don't mind. I think Juice is a terrific wrestler. I do, but he's not a name. That's messed up. I shouldn't say that.
Who you got? Oh, do you have another name on your list?
Yeah,
I have one more.
Samoa Joe. That was my name.
Samoa Joe was tops on yours. I have Killer Cross and Scarlett here. I think I read that he just won a match at FSW in Vegas this past weekend. So he's booking himself some shows.
I think he's signed with MLW now, isn't he?
Well, I know PW Insider said that those teases they were running were to, advertise or build anticipation for the return of Killer Cross. I didn't necessarily take that as he had signed a deal with them, that he was just going to be working with them.
Like running these just to hope that he shows up.
No, I think he's going to be there at least in some capacity, but I don't know if he signed like a full-time deal with them. You know what I mean?
What if he shows up and cuts a promo on MLW? He's like, screw these people. Anyways, he hasn't even worked there yet, Killer Cross. Besides, I think he's officially signed to the Narrative.
They even have contracts.
I think it's just a couple of dudes hanging out in like a warehouse somewhere.
It feels that way.
They happen to have cameras. Oh boy, you haven't seen their latest. We were talking about this in the pre-show. Their latest.
I have
video.
not seen it yet. But it sounds like I probably should.
We call the National Guard. Maybe get some.
I haven't seen it yet, so
yeah.
I don't know. I can't comment on something I haven't seen, though I've heard people's impressions on there, and I don't know what to think about it.
They're just trying to hustle. They're just trying to do their thing. Anyways, so yeah. I don't know. Out of all those names, the most I mean, I don't know.
If it's not Keith Lee, if it's Mustafa Ali, I might poop my pants in excitement and
You
shock.
might see a guy poop his pants.
I might, because
it'd be nuts. It would be nuts.
Mustafa Ali is one of my favorite wrestlers in the entire world. Dude's under contract WWE and showed up in AEW. That would be absolutely insane.
It'd be nuts. It'd be crazy. But I don't know. What if there's some crazy shit backstage that's going on,
Yeah, I don't know. As you mentioned, when I saw that tweet, that was the first thing I thought of was Mustafa Ali.
What if Ali asked for his? What if he asked for his release and actually got it and has been playing really coy about it, and he was able to negotiate a 10-day no compete clause?
I know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's all crazy speculation. I don't. We've said this before. Tony Khan is a promoter, and he is going to embellish, and so it's like Keith Lee, who got released. Said nothing but positive things after the fact. And I mean, mostly about the fans and stuff. I don't know if he's commented much on WWE specifically. But so I don't know how much he's going to be slamming the door behind him. But I don't know. Whoever it's going to be, it's not going to, I think Ali's like the one guy, maybe Tony Storm, that really lives up to what Tony Khan is saying in that tweet. Somebody who turned their back on the company and left. Mm-hmm. That's or Jeff Hardy
Yeah, but if Hardy's under the 90-day no compete, that's
what they should have said when they were like, hey pal, hey, you want a Hall of Fame induction? And he's like, how about this? There's that pesky no compete clause. Send me documents that's gone, and I'll consider it. And then he gets the documents and no compete. And he's like, I've considered it. No.
The answer is no.
Yeah. Click, and then he can show up.
Now he can show up whenever he wants.
Yeah, good stuff.
I know Isaiah Cassidy in his tweet about this match was kind of teasing. He tagged Matt Hardy in there.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
I think he said something like, "If this is who I think it is,
Yeah.
And he's wondered why Matt Hardy wasn't returning his calls or texts.
I love it. Just fuck with people. Why not?
Exactly. It's good stuff. Let's take a quick break here to get a word from our sponsor, BetterHelp. Several years ago, I was dealing with severe anxiety, and I learned how important it was to talk to a therapist. But I also learned that it can be really difficult to find the right person to talk to. Today, BetterHelp is providing a safe, convenient, and private online environment where your needs will be assessed and you'll be matched with your own licensed personal therapist.
BetterHelp isn't a crisis line, nor is it self-help. It's professional counseling done securely online. And you don't have to limit yourself to counselors in your area. BetterHelp services are available worldwide, so you can find the expertise you need regardless of location.
BetterHelp is dedicated to facilitating great therapeutic matches, all without having to sit in another uncomfortable waiting room. You can send your counselor messages whenever you want, or you can schedule regular phone or video sessions. And BetterHelp has made it free and easy to change therapists if needed.
We want you to start living a happier life today. As a Going In Raw listener, you'll get 10% off your first month by visiting our sponsor at betterhelp.com/raw. Join over 1 million people who have taken charge of their mental health.
Again, that's BetterHelp, HELP.com/raw.
And now let's get a word in from our sponsor, Chime. So Larson.
Yes, Steve?
It's a new year. And what better way to kick off 2022 than by getting yourself a better checking account with no monthly fees?
Yeah, a fee-free 2022 sounds great, Steve. And with Chime, an award-winning app and debit card, you'll get no overdraft fees, foreign transaction fees, monthly fees, or service fees. You can also send money to anyone. Even if they aren't on Chime, it's fee-free for you and no cash-out fees for them.
And with over 60,000 fee-free in-network ATMs, including at most Walgreens, 7-Eleven, and CVS locations, you can get your money when you need it, where you need it.
So make your first good decision of the new year and join over 10 million people using Chime. Sign up takes only 2 minutes and does not affect your credit score. Get started at chime.com/raw. That's chime.com/raw.
Banking services provided by and debit card issued by the Bancorp Bank or Stride Bank N.A. members FDIC. Get fee-free transactions at any MoneyPass ATM in a 7-Eleven location and at any Allpoint or Visa Plus Alliance ATM. Otherwise, out-of-network ATM withdrawal fees may apply. Sometimes pay anyone instant transfers can be delayed. The recipient must use a valid debit card or be a Chime member to claim funds. And before we get back to the show, let's get a word in from our sponsor, Let's Get Checked. Hey, Larson.
Yeah.
You're a low-energy guy, yeah?
Well, I don't know. Sometimes. Why do I seem low energy?
Yeah, okay, confirm. You're low energy. So did you know that fatigue, hair loss, and even a low libido can all be the result of a hormonal imbalance? It might be time to get your testosterone levels checked, friendo. And today's sponsor, Let's Get Checked, has got you covered.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that low testosterone levels can cause fatigue, low energy, and maybe linked to depression. So tell me, Steve, how do I go about getting my testosterone levels tested with Let's Get Checked?
Happy you asked, Larson, because it's easy and it's something you can do from the comfort of your own home. You just go to their site, letsgetchecked.com, and order a test kit. Once that arrives, you do a small finger prick and send the sample to their lab, and within a few days, you'll get your results. If your results are outside the normal ranges, a member of Let's Get Checked's nursing team will contact you to discuss your lab report.
Yeah, that sounds pretty easy. I could do that.
It is easy and convenient, and it can hopefully help you turn from low energy Larson into let's get it Larson. Even better, our listeners will get 30% off their entire order with code RAW. Just visit letsgetchecked.com and enter code RAW at checkout to ensure you and your significant other are staying safe.
Let's talk about this. So after losing the WWE Championship at day one, Big E was sent back to SmackDown, seemingly back chasing tag team gold with Kofi Kingston. It seems like his singles push has come to an end. PW Torture's Wade Keller talked about how the locker room felt about the end of Big E's main event push. This is what he had to say. These transcripts come to us from wrestlingnews.co. Wade said, quote, "I've asked around, and all I've gotten is people who are really upset, with the rug being pulled out from under him. And I haven't heard anything about there being an awareness of an issue with him. And I think the people I've asked would know But I mean, one person just described him as a magnificent human being who doesn't deserve this treatment.
It's a drag. It
really is.
It's funny, dude, because you and I could both, from the get-go, from the moment he cashed in, and we knew this is not the way a babyface should be cashing in. I was encouraged when he beat Lashley cleanly. I was like, oh, that's a good start. Okay, it means that he's legit, right? But everything after that, he was booked as a bystander, as a tourist, as somebody who would show up, and everybody else has all these plum spots. Seth Rollins doing career work. Kevin Owens re-signs, and he's given some really great stuff to work with. Bobby Lashley seemed to have a renewed energy around him. And Big E would just sort of stand around and look at people, and he would try to do what he could, but he never got any sort of superficial repackaging, which usually signals, hey, this person is changing their journey. And now, they're switching gears to solo run. He never got any of the signifiers that shows the audience, hey, this guy is, and when WWE doesn't make that level of investment, you can tell they're half-assing it. And we saw this from day one, basically.
Yeah, and it was a situation where they booked his title win for a moment and not with a story in mind. It was a rush thing. He was on the SmackDown roster when he won the briefcase, and he decides, after teasing something with Roman for weeks, he'd show up laughing at Heyman holding that briefcase, and then out of the blue, I'm cashing in on Raw against Lashley.
Yeah.
And rather than say, I want a one-on-one bout with you, Lashley, to win the title, he cashes in the typical fashion after Lashley's already been through a match. Yes, I know he won a rematch against Lashley one-on-one, but it's not, what do you think of a babyface way of winning a championship? You don't think opportunistic.
No, you don't.
You think beating somebody one-on-one in the middle of the ring, and not after someone's already had a match,
Yeah. His whole thing. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'll say just from, gonna reiterate what you said. From the get-go, it just seemed like, all right, we need a shock moment on Raw. Let's do it with no plan in place about where to take this. And, Big E did the absolute best he could with what he was given, which wasn't a lot.
Yeah.
But he did a ton of outside appearances while champion. In terms, you couldn't ask anybody to represent the company better than he did.
I agree.
Does on a regular basis.
Yeah.
And the fact they didn't really give him a major push to coincide with the title run is extremely disappointing. Hopefully he'll get another shot at it. I wouldn't be surprised if after Mania, after Roman beats Brock, if he's among the first contenders to challenge Roman after. Unfortunately, he'll lose, but it'll be him. It'll be Drew.
Yeah.
They've got two, former champions as contenders to challenge Roman through the summer. Yeah. It'll probably happen again. He'll likely lose. Maybe they'll come back around to it after Mania 39, after Roman wins there, and maybe they'll take the time to build him up as someone who could conceivably take the belt off Roman.
Nobody misreads and misunderstands their audience more than WWE. I mean, that is honestly the God's honest truth. The fact that, back during Thunderdome, you and I were posed the question, is the crowd noise going to stay? And you and I had both said, oh yeah, this is a thing where they will be able to present something that doesn't exist. And the only question was, how much are they going to lie to themselves? And you can lie to yourself by, they would often use the crowd to sort of gauge where their stories, what kind of reception their stories and their characters would get. If something's getting over, it's going to have a big crowd response. If something is falling flat, they're going to be silent. Well, you got Ronda Rousey coming out there, and you've got this obnoxious crowd noise, and you look at the crowd and they're doing this. They're doing this. Or even worse, they're doing this. They're seeing what else is going on their phone.
Yeah.
And it's as if they're just lying to themselves. It's like, well, okay, so you're not going to use the fact that the crowd is just giving you nothing with Ronda's return. Instead, you're going to think that you're right about this, and you're just going to pump all this crowd noise because they're going to go full on with her. She's probably going to win that title at WrestleMania.
Yeah. Fully expect that to happen.
And and the same thing I feel like is with Big E. It's, I guess, just if Vince doesn't see it now, he doesn't even, look at the crowd. He's just like, well, he's out there. He's not getting over. It's like, well, you didn't do anything that like the crowd responds to with him. You sort of, you lobotomize the guy to a degree.
So going back to, we talked about earlier, we're going to do a going in raw view on Survivor Series 2002, and was listening to something to wrestle with about that particular show.
Yeah.
And in the lead up, they always do an extensive lead up in terms of storylines that were leading to or preceding the show. And they were talking about, was it the Un-Americans? It was Lance Storm and Test and Christian were a faction. And Pritchard puts the blame on those guys for not getting the gimmick over because they weren't invested. Well, maybe they weren't invested because the gimmick was outdated.
Yeah.
Maybe because it wasn't good.
Yeah.
And rather than reflecting on, okay, maybe the quality of this creative isn't up to par, they just think, no, it's the talent just didn't get invested or get behind it 100%.
Yeah. I have to get to that point. I'm earlier in the show. I'm not there, but I do remember, and I don't know the full context of that, which is why I want to say I want to listen to it myself. I can understand to a degree, like, for example, remember that terrible faction, the United Nations? No, League of Nations. Sorry, the League of Nations. That was the original United Nations for history buff. And it was Barrett, Rusev, Sheamus, I think, and Del Rio, I think. And there was one man there who seemed like he was actually invested, and that was Rusev. Rusev was actually the guy who was always. And if you have four guys who are as invested as Rusev, they will probably make something of it. But what they were given was just crap. Big E is like the Rusev of that group. Big E, you give him anything and he runs with it. They gave him nothing. They gave the man nothing. Nothing at all. And he still went out and made all the appearances and made everybody look good. He's, in my opinion, he's a Cena level charisma.
Oh yeah.
A Cena level talent. And you're giving him nothing. They gave Cena everything, every opportunity to succeed and fail. And they do that with the people they see something in. But it's just, with Big E, I don't know if Vince ever saw him as anything more than just 1/3 of the New Day. I don't know what they from the beginning. It was terrible. And yeah, from what everybody says, from what we can see, from looking at social media, it couldn't have happened to like a nicer person. Like he just seems like the best human being possible.
He just seems like a genuinely good human being.
Yeah.
From every listening to the New Day podcast, seeing him on Twitter, seeing him interact at various appearances. He just seems like a good person.
I mean, they split up the New Day via draft like twice, and it's like you could have had his cash in be part of some sort of story with the New Day if you kept them together and said, hey, I have a choice. I can either go to a different brand, split from my guys. Like there was nothing about any of his Money in the Bank stuff that was part of him crafting his own destiny, which is always the most interesting story.
Yeah.
It was just happenstance. Everything, like they would have him backstage giggling, which even Big E can make that entertaining, but there's nothing dramatic or story based about that. There was nothing interesting about the story of him just sort of harassing Paul Heyman here and there. And then how did they cash it? He announced on Twitter, I'm coming to Raw to cash in, because they just wanted to pop that rating.
Yep. No story behind it.
Yeah.
None. And there's a story to be told.
I know. You can write any number of stories with that.
You have a history between the Usos and the New Day. Mm-hmm. You could have a really, really good Bloodline New Day feud.
Yeah.
It's right there.
I know.
And it could be incredible.
I know. And it's like it's like the New Day have generated so much money for you. They sold so much merch. Xavier Woods is probably getting screwed over on the up, down, down stuff. And he basically brought their digital platform into the future. They've done so much, and they don't even have the respect for the New Day to properly motivate a story to split them. It's embarrassing. It's
really
when
is.
people say, "Oh, you guys are just anti WWE." Well, it's because we're given shit like this. What, people should be satisfied with this? People should be cool with this is the stories that they're feeding you, and you're going to defend them? Get out of here with that.
Yeah. Let's talk about Ronda Rousey. So the first 2 promos she delivered since making a return at the Rumble. One after the Rumble was like a digital exclusive on .com or on their YouTube. And then, of course, the one on Raw weren't exactly what you'd expect from a babyface, especially when it came to how she talked about the WWE Universe. And according to Dave Meltzer, some within WWE actually talked to her after her promo on Raw last week to address this. This is what Dave had to say, quote, "I believe that people were talking to her about Monday. She acknowledged the fans. She was very, very bitter coming back, and I think that was not a good attitude to have, especially since she's being portrayed as a babyface. People, when they saw her, go, 'Oh my God, she's being a heel,' and it's like, no, that's just Ronda." And then they had to talk her out of basically going, "These people are cheering you. You have to acknowledge them. You don't mean mug them."
Yeah.
I know people who talked to her about certain things. It was explained that you have to let that go, referencing the fans booing her on her first run, because if you're going to be bitter about that, you're not going to be able to be a very good babyface. And so on a recent Facebook gaming stream, Rousey was asked about facing jeers from the crowd, to which she responded, these transcripts are from Fightful, quote, "It's hard not to take it personally because from the fans, because I go out there as a character, but also I am actually Ronda Rousey. I don't play Ronda Rousey on television. Sometimes I take it personally from the fans, not so much the other wrestlers."
What was for context? The actual promo, she just talked about debating what titles she wants.
Yeah.
Was it more her body language kind of thing?
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
That's just how she is.
She came off as very standoffish on that first Raw promo.
That's true. Yeah. And in her,
she didn't really want to be there.
Her backstage interview after the Rumble was very much like that.
Yeah.
But it was like verbally, but like, yeah, her promo, you're right. I mean, I don't know. She always comes off as like nervous to be around people. I don't know why. Yeah. I don't know. Why would you even come back if that's the situation? I mean, it was just the money thing.
I don't know if she just actually, maybe she just really enjoys the in-ring aspect of it. I don't know.
I have no idea. I mean, it's hard not to take it personally from the fans. I mean, look, you're playing a character. I know you are Ronda Rousey. I get that. But like, you're playing a character, and I understand though. You're out there in front of however many thousands of people. That ain't easy.
Well, especially if it's not your.
I come out there and they're like, "Boo's this old balding pasty guy."
Yeah, I just like fall in the corner and cry.
Pat McAfee be like, "Oh, you want to see a guy poop his pants? Look at Steve up there.
That's gonna be me. Yeah.
Mission accomplished, Pat.
If you haven't been in the world of pro wrestling, and you have the experience of having that clear delineation between character and who I am,
mm-hmm.
It might be a little. It's easy to say, oh, just it's just wrestling.
Yeah.
Just get through it. But at the same time, if you don't have the experience that a lot of the people have dealing with that delineation, I can understand why it might be a little tough.
Yeah, me too. But here's the thing: you just said the word experience. She has a whole year of experience where she went through the ringer in that year. Like the fans loved that she was there, and then towards the end, she was getting all meta with shit, and she was going on her Facebook and whatever the. I don't know who would be on Facebook. Well, I do know.
Well, I think it was she had a vlog on YouTube. I think it was where she was talking trash about the fans. Year's not that much, man. A year? It's not that much.
Yeah, but dude, you will know in a year, like, of doing that, whether or not you want to do it again.
Oh yeah, I don't disagree with that.
And if you want to do it again, like, aren't you like, oh well, I don't know. I feel like a year is kind of a long time to go through that. I kind of do. I'll be honest with you. She was out there. Look, one thing we can say about Ronda, she was there the entire time. She was doing house shows and shit. Like, I don't know. I kind of feel like if I have a year on the job, I'm going to know whether or not I'm into this or not.
Well, it's the difference between being into it and exactly being comfortable, 100% comfortable with every single aspect of it.
I don't know. In my opinion, how did you not know this going into it? Having the whole gamut of experience that you had during that. I mean, she was in the bright spotlight.
Yeah.
I would just think that would inform her quite a bit more than she's.
Who was it? Was it a Big Show? who was talking about this. I know this isn't exactly the same circumstance, but I'm just thought of this, where he was talking about he really liked going out on house shows and just doing the rest, And I'm sure the motivation.
Batista said that.
Batista said that too?
Yeah.
Okay. Just likes going out there and doing the wrestling.
Big Show did say that too. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was the TV aspect that he didn't like. And, the motivation or the reasoning behind that could be completely different from whatever, Ronda's doing, feeling here about the fans. Because who knows? We've heard before that the reaction at TV is different than the reaction on house shows.
Yeah.
To a certain extent, it's a different crowd.
Yeah, sure. It is.
Maybe she goes out there at house shows and she gets the reaction that she feels like she wants. We're on TV. It's different. I don't know.
Yeah.
But if her enjoyment of doing the in-ring aspect of it, the wrestling, supersedes the stuff that she might not be so comfortable with, she's like, okay, it's still worth doing.
I wonder if
I just don't know.
I wonder if the response itself, like the response that she got on her return, sort of like was a shock to the system. Like, whoa, wait a second, I've been gone for a long time. I thought I was going to get like, I didn't realize they'd have to like pipe in crowd noise. She goes out there, she's like, I don't like this, and then her attitude reflects that. Maybe it's an in the moment thing. That could be.
It could be.
Yeah,
it could be.
Know.
It could be.
Anyways,
who knows? We got a Raw tonight.
We sure do.
3 segments announced. Oh, look at that. We actually have a match announced too. Riddle set to square off against Seth freaking Rollins on Raw. Never thought like 3 years ago we'd ever see this match happen. Here we go.
Oh man, yeah, absolutely.
Totally happening.
Also, Lita is coming back to Raw, primed for her title match at WWE Elimination Chamber. That should be a good match.
And then RK Bro and Alpha Academy set for Quiz Bowl Showdown.
Shoosh. Yeah, that should be fun. RK Bro's going to win that one. Let's go ahead and answer some questions while I pull up the Twitter thread. Want to remind you really quick, we got a brand new channel. It's called Friendo Club TV. Bunch of goofiness there. Short form content.
Yes.
More to come. Lots of fun stuff is all I could say about that.
Oh, yes.
Friendo Club TV. Go check it out on the whatever I just said it was on.
YouTube's
Yeah,
on YouTube.
Jason Lewis says last week's numbers don't lie had me thinking. Do you see factions with a clear leader, like the NWO or Evolution, differently than those who act as a team, like the New Day or the Shield? Yes, I do see them different. I see, like, the Shield is a little bit different, but still, with the Shield, that was a group that, I mean, they had Dean with his lackluster U.S. title run, but the other guys didn't really, like, did anybody else in their initial days go after, I know none of them went after the big belt. Was the Intercontinental Championship in play at all? No, it wasn't, right?
I don't believe so. I believe Roman and Seth were just tag champs for a while, and then Dean had the U.S. title.
Yeah. I do. I see them a little bit differently because to me, a faction is always like, it's like when we talked about the New Day. The New Day is the greatest tag team in the history of WWE, but they're a tag team. I mean, technically, because they have 3 people, could you consider them a faction? Given that while they were together, by and large, it's not like Big E went out and tried to get solo gold while they were together. While they were together, they mainly went after the tag titles. I mean, I know they haven't technically split, but to me, a faction is you have one guy going after the top title, you have one guy going after the mid-card title, you got your tag team.
Well, I think that's also dependent on the number of people in said faction. If you got a 3-person faction, you can't exactly have someone going for the main belt, mid-card belt, and the tag belts. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I know.
I don't necessarily see them in a differently. No, not necessarily.
I see.
Like I won't necessarily, take anything away from factions that don't go after or haven't achieved great success as singles. If they're, if the overall level of success is incredibly high and they leave a massive impact, that's more important for.
I didn't say take anything away from them. I just mean that I see them differently.
I'm just trying to do something. What do you want Seth to do at WrestleMania? And what will WB have Seth doing at WrestleMania? Reminder, he's lost his last 2 Mania matches.
Well, thank God he's not going to be fighting Shane McMahon.
I wonder if they'll do him and Kevin Owens against RK Bro. for the tag titles.
That would
assuming
be wise.
RK Bro wins them back.
That would be wise. That'd be smart.
And have Seth and Kevin Owens actually be the one that start RK Bro breaking up.
I'm still really curious how all this would have played out if Roman didn't have to sit out at day one.
Mm-hmm.
That's a question right there. Because like, I don't know, you and I both really like that idea of Seth and Kevin Owens, and they sort of teased going after tag gold. They might do Seth versus Kevin Owens.
That's entirely possible.
Yeah,
we saw that a couple years ago at WrestleMania.
I know. Yeah, we did. Yeah. And it was a pretty good match, too.
It was a good match. Anthony Tobias, is Maven helping the Major Brothers a one-time thing? It seems like this will be the year of comebacks. Who else do you think might come back from out of the blue? I saw that he showed up.
GCW, yeah, they're just sort of popping the old nostalgia itch there, here and there. Sort of the not really obscure, I guess, but
did you see that Buff Bagwell said he wants to do a death match?
That's a bad idea. That's not a good idea. That's a bad idea. Nobody do that, please. Don't let him do that. Buff is a name that I could see GCW bringing in, though.
Mm-hmm.
He's sort of on that level.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Steiner maybe too, but Impact already sort of did everything they can do, sort of with a nostalgia pop with Steiner.
Yeah.
So yeah.
With all this, the stuff that Edge has been teasing with the Brood, bring back Gangrel.
Oh, GCW bring back Gangrel, or actually WWE? It'd be great if WWE did.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
Rozzy here says, with Rampage moving to 7 p.m. Eastern this week, do you see a big jump in the numbers? And what do y'all's take on Buff Bagwell saying he will do a death match for 2022?
Yeah, don't do it again. Don't do it.
Probably not a great idea.
Reiterate that one. Don't do it. Are they gonna have a big jump? I don't know. It's not prime time. It's like at the other end of prime time. It's like way too early.
You know, if it's a situation where people are just really eager to watch NBA All-Star Weekend, which is why it's moving to an earlier time, and people tune in early.
They should brand themselves as the NBA All-Star pre-show.
All-Star Rampage.
All-Star,
call it.
That's exactly right. And they can get put on the old MTV celebrity jerseys, the bricklayers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to watch all the Rock and Jock basketball.
Who was your guy?
Where they had the hoop, where they had the hoop that was like 15 feet up.
Yeah.
Above the actual hoop.
Michael Rappaport was always pretty funny in that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Justin Timberlake, if I'm not mistaken, was always pretty good. Even predating that.
Yeah, I'm thinking like early 90s, back when like Jeff Ahmet from Pearl Jam was in it.
Let that guy in. Nobody knew who he was.
Well, that was after Pearl Jam like made it huge, so everybody knew who he was.
Man, if it wasn't Eddie Vedder, nobody knew.
They knew who Pearl Jam.
They knew who Eddie Vedder was.
What are you trying to say? If Stone Gossard was in there balling up, that no one would know who that was?
You and I would.
It's like that's the dude that wrote the riff to Alive. I know exactly who he is.
Be like,
Gareth
which one's
Nichols.
Alive?
You sing it, and you're like, oh, I know that song. Gareth says GCW in San Francisco on April 10th. You gonna be there? I don't know.
Probably not. I don't like
one show at a time.
I don't like going to San Francisco.
Yeah, you don't like
driving there sucks, man. There's bicycles getting in your way all the time. I'm not into it. If it's like a sort of it's probably not downtown. It's probably on the outskirts. I'd be okay with that.
I'm just taking it one show at a time. We'll go with that Prestige show. We'll make determination from there.
I am tempted to go to Supreme Pro Wrestling on the 20th because like Brian Cage is going to be there. That'd be awesome. I might check that one out.
Heel long heavy, since Malachi and Brody are both kings of one black throne, how do they both sit on it? It's like a love seat.
No,
2 seats on it.
No, dude. It's like, do you remember that Saturday Night Live commercial with the love seat? It was like the toilets that are like one faces this way, the next one's next to it, and it's facing that way. It's like Victoria Jackson and Kevin Nealon, I think. And so you're shitting next to your lover, but you're facing opposite ways, but your heads are next to each other. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, that's funny stuff.
Blake Elizondo says, new wrestling law, no more surprise debuts. Feel they're kind of overplayed. What are some new ways AEW can debut? Also, what's something you want as a new wrestling law? You know, I miss the days. I missed the days where they'd actually run like vignettes hyping up a debut, not like the Veer is coming, which are open ended. What? We give that a look for.
Can you not like just, brush off my parachute debut?
You know, when I think of
idea?
parachute, I think of that guy parachuting in during that boxing match years ago.
Didn't he have like a jetpack on of some sort?
Well, yeah, like a propeller thing.
The
on his
propeller
back,
thing,
yeah.
and then Homer did it on The Simpsons.
Yeah, that's what I think of. And I'm like, that didn't really go very well. So pass on the parachute. That's why I no sold it.
Wow.
Like I miss the days, not like Veer is coming, where it's just him saying I'm coming at some point, but you actually like tease. You do it in an interesting fashion, and you get an introduction to who this character is.
You mean like how New Japan did Mox?
Yeah.
You like that?
Yeah, that's a
okay,
good example. Yeah.
That was awesome. That was like, who's this guy? And then, and I love that they like the logo they had just like, and it was like, oh, the Mox was there the whole time.
Clear as day. Yeah,
that was good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I like that. The mystery thing, that's good.
Jameson DeSouza says, should WB go all in with Orton and Riddle as two-man power trip? Although it's got a different name here. No, they should probably break up, because I think you're going to get Orton turning on Riddle, and Riddle winning that feud is going to like launch Riddle into like a new level. So that's probably the way to do it, as opposed to having them win all the titles.
Yeah, I don't know why, but I don't like them as a two-man power trip.
Like you tell me Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins are a two-man power trip, I'm all about that.
Yeah, why is that? I really like that idea. That idea I love. Orton and Riddle.
Well, first of all, because they're heels. They're heels.
Okay.
In theory.
Okay.
So that works more.
Yeah.
And I feel like they're both more or less established main event guys. And I feel like Riddle needs this Orton feud to get to that point. For me, that's what it is.
Okay, but Riddle's an established mid-card guy. He would get the U.S. title, which they're doing nothing with Damian Priest.
Yeah,
Orton gets the WWE title.
That's the only reason I can explain it. Is that for me, it just like it feels like it's a more interesting story to have them feud as opposed to get all the belts.
I agree with that. I definitely agree. I'm just sort of trying to figure out why. But no, I think for Seth and Kevin, it's awesome.
Greg Morris says, since factions are starting to be graded, any chance we can see managers? I want to see if Heenan breaks the scale. The only thing about managers is that typically, I know Heenan did, they don't wrestle. So we need something in lieu of in-ring.
Yeah.
For going in around mat.
Yeah. We'd have to change the formula a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure at some point we'll get to it. All along the Watchtower asks, do you think AEW should develop women's factions to get more women TV time and build their familiarity with fans? I'm not opposed to that, but we kind of already have that. Like Britt has a faction. She's got Rebel and Jamie Hayter. Mm-hmm. They need more than one obligatory match on Dynamite. Like that's what you got to do.
Yeah.
And AEW, for whatever reason, you can't help but think with AEW that it's because people want more than one women's match, or if Tony Khan has just done whatever numbers he has because he's an analytics guy and he's like, no, one women's match at 6:30 whenever they do it, because it's usually around like the same time.
They've moved it around the show.
There was a stretch a while ago that it was the
consistently
same time.
It would always start at like 6:20.
So he's nudged it a little bit. But yeah, like don't make it so obvious that you're just doing one a week, because then it just turns into, well, it's the one obligatory women's match.
White Brownie, you have a 10-piece chicken nuggets,
awesome.
But you can only choose one condiment.
Oh, yeah.
Which do you choose, barbecue ranch or sweet and sour?
It's a mood thing for me. I usually don't go with ranch. I'd go with either barbecue or sweet and sour. Those are or like honey mustard. Honey mustard's good too.
Yeah, for me, it's barbecue or nothing.
Mm-hmm. The Wild Dude. Who's the wrestler or wrestlers you think improved the most in terms of in ring since the pandemic started? Liv Morgan has improved quite a bit in the ring.
Yeah, she has.
I'm not like her personality on the mic in front of the camera leaves a bit to be desired for me personally. But in terms of what she's done in the ring, I think that she's improved a lot.
That's a good answer. I'm trying to think. I don't know if it's necessarily someone who's improved, because from their debut, they were already really good. but I think they've been given more time to show how good they are, and that's Dante Martin.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
I think the last 6 months since he got involved in the storyline about, after his brother got hurt, he aligned with Seidel and then Leo and then Team Taz. But no, the Team Taz thing was a swerve. I think when he was on TV regularly and putting on awesome matches, it was a reminder of how awesome he is.
Yeah, he's pretty terrific. Will Combs, we might have to push on this question, but he says, Shane McMahon and Triple H approach you to be the head creative team of their new wrestling promotion. You're given the option to choose new talent to sign to this company and build around specific stars. Who do you choose to sign and book as your new world champion? I want to do a video for Wrestle Juice where we draft from the free agents.
For Wrestle Juice, don't you mean Friendo Club TV?
That's actually what I meant. I already did a video like that for Wrestle Juice, but I want to do it with you or
we should
against
do it this
you.
week.
Like
I already
Shane,
have my cheat sheet.
Shane comes to me, Triple H comes to you. We do a little skit at the beginning with our phones.
Yeah,
that'd be fun. I like that.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
NJWP, how do you think WWE views Raw and SmackDown? SmackDown seems to have main WrestleMania stories and larger viewership, but Raw always gets more pay-per-view matches and gets treated all right at Survivor Series.
Yeah, that's the whole Raw dominating Survivor Series every year is such a weird thing. That's just weird to me. I don't know if I mean, the way he puts it, yeah, SmackDown is like, I think that they sort of view that as their premier show, don't they?
Mm-hmm. It's on network TV. They'd be foolish not to.
I agree.
I mean, that's the show that has their largest audience, their largest viewership.
Do we know, did they actually, did they get more money from Fox for SmackDown than USA did for Raw?
I don't know.
It seems like it was comparable.
It was comparable, but I don't know how the individual deals were structured. I think in terms of, gross dollars, it was comparable, but I don't know if they were structured differently.
I mean, honestly, clearly they view, and I think if Roman was on Raw, Raw would sort of probably take on more importance, but I think they view Roman as their guy, and wherever he is where they're going to concentrate, their creative energy. I think Raw is just a mess, and they just sort of do what they can with it.
Yeah, 3 hours is a lot of time to fill every week.
Yeah.
Cameron here says, when Triple H eventually retires from wrestling, who should retire him? Given his recent health scare, I would be shocked to ever see him in the ring again.
I would be shocked as well.
So I think we probably have already seen his last match.
Which means Randy Orton. Because that was the last match he had, was against Randy Orton. He was in pants. Yeah. Let's see here.
This is a good question from D. Kyle. It says, we are both pro wrestlers. One of us is a baby face and one of us is a heel. List the pros and cons of your respective roles.
I think you would benefit most from being a heel.
Really?
Yes,
why is that?
I do. Because you're a face. I would consider you a good guy. You're a good egg, Larson.
Oh, thank you.
But I think that there's not a lot interesting there if you're just being yourself. I think I would have
got it. Yeah.
I would have a lot. I would have the same amount of fun playing either one, and I think you would actually enjoy playing a heel a lot.
Oh yeah,
more.
Being a heel would be more fun. Give anybody really an opportunity to show off more personality. Yeah. That's for sure.
I'm fun regardless.
I'm a pretty boring individual. I'm pretty mediocre. Pretty mediocre at most everything you put in front of me.
Yeah.
The only advantage I might have as a baby face is that I can be presented as an underdog because I'm not huge physically.
Yeah.
I'm mediocre at pretty much anything.
Right.
And to see someone who's just admired as mediocrity as I am.
Yeah.
Overcome the odds, potentially succeed. That could be a story.
Yeah, totally. I think that's good. We'll end on this one. Blue says, you used to get invited to events for the WWE 2K games. I know it's difficult now because of the situation in the world, but if you can go to one promotional event for an upcoming game to do interviews and etc., this isn't even a question here. Do you pick WWE 2K or the AEW game?
The AEW game.
Look, everything about that game so far speaks to us. The fact that it's built off the old N64 engine or trying to emulate that, or the person who was in charge of that is in charge of this.
Person who worked on that was working on this game. Yeah.
I am really, and on top of that, I am really curious to know more about that. Like, we've gotten a lot of info so far on WWE 2K22. So the AEW game, that would definitely
bit of a mystery
be the thing.
still.
I want to be wined and dined by AEW the way 2K used to wine and dine us.
I know.
That'd be cool.
Know.
You know, I'll say whatever you want about your video game if you just, you know, let me sit front row once. Anyway, I want to be the front row guy that annoys everybody because he's standing up the whole time. Yeah, with a lacegems.com sign. Anyways, that's going to do it for us. Twitch chat, stick around. We'll hang out for a little bit. Thanks for watching, everybody. We appreciate it. Until next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.